You may have never realized it, but the word revolutionary is pronounced Star Fox. Take the last Starfighter, throw in anthropomorphic animals, and that's exactly what you have. Star Wing for you Europeans. But Star Fox is a strange enigma. It's a franchise that isn't overlooked, but is certainly underappreciated. Its best games are the ones that copied the first title, while the ones that experimented and expanded on the story struggled. But then again, that's not necessarily true either, because the last game in the franchise definitely underperformed, and that one was copying the first one as well. And even though I'd argue that that had more to do with the Wii U's control scheme rather than the quality of the game, this means that the only truly stellar title in the series was Star Fox 64. Wrap your head around that one. But I'm not here to talk about that. Today, we're focusing on the original two titles that were released for the Super NES. So, let's get started. Thanks to the Super FX chip, Star Fox was the first fully 3D polygonal shoot-'em-up, in which you take control of Fox McCloud and his squad of R-Wings to fight the evil invading Andross. Like I stated before, it's basically the plot of The Last Starfighter, but with animals. The game contains high-octane action and a banger soundtrack. In fact, this has to be in the top 5 list of best OSTs on the Super NES. Too bad the entire rest of the game is shit. Okay, that last part is an exaggeration. The game's fine. In fact, credit where it's due, this was the kind of game that would make you go, just one more time. I can beat it this time. I know I can. That's the sign of a well-designed game. It's just that Father Time has not been kind to it. The obvious are the graphics. The game runs at like 10 frames per second, the visuals are ugly, and I consider the pop-in to be almost as bad as Cybermorph.
Where did you learn to fly?
But back in 1993, this was cutting edge, so I can't really hold it against the game. No, the truly rotten part of the experience, unfortunately, is the gameplay. The camera angles are awkward, there's no target reticle, except for certain missions that take place in first person, your computer-controlled allies are dipshits, and the controls snap back to a center position whenever you let go of the D-pad. An analog stick is sorely missed, classic shortcomings from a bygone era. It's because of all of these flaws that I feel totally comfortable not recommending it. There's just no need to, when Star Fox 64 exists. The sequel, however. Star Fox 2 takes place directly after the first game, in which Andross returns to get revenge on the Lilat system. What we get this time is sort of a mix between a real-time strategy game as well as a space shooter. It actually kind of reminds me of that old Gundam Wing game on Cartoon Network. Anybody remember that? Just me? Damn, I'm old. This game has a lot of improvements. There's a target reticle present in every camera angle now, and you can charge your gun to fire a homing shot. This is very useful during dogfights, which can still otherwise be clunky. There's also these new sections where you can transform the R-Wing to walk on land. The controls for this are awkward once again, but the game has an aim assist that helps mitigate that. Now, the interesting thing about Star Fox 2 is that it went unreleased for years. Similar to the original version of Earthbound for the NES, the game was pretty much completed, but not mass-produced. We wouldn't actually get it until it came out for the SNES Mini, which is the version I'm playing on. But it's also available for Nintendo Switch Online. It's my understanding that it was canceled in favor of shifting focus to the N64. In my opinion, this was the game that they should have focused on, rather than just remaking the first title. If you have a SNES Mini or NSO, I do recommend that you play it. And on that note, we've come to the end of the video. So, until next time, this is the Xtreme Nerd saying, we may not always know what the future holds, but at least we can go back to the classics. Cheers.